With Sonny Cox, talk a little bit about this Danville team. You're going to see that 7-footer, maybe obviously a different challenge than what you saw yesterday.
Yeah. Danville's a good team. We played them the third game of the season. I think we only beat them by 14, 15 points, and it's not the same team that I see out there today. So we expect them to give us a real good game, and we'll have to play very, very hard in order to beat them. They're well coached, and they're just good.
Okay, Sonny, we'll see you at halftime. And we'll, in the meantime, send it back over to center court to preview this King Jaguar matchup against the Danville Vikings. Kenny McReynolds and Dan Roan are standing by.
All right, Joe Passion, thank you very much, and welcome once again to the Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. Second semifinal, 1993 Class AA Boys High School Basketball Championship. And Kenny McReynolds, can Danville keep this from becoming the King Invitational?
Well, you know, everybody's calling this the King Invitational after Proviso East lost last night. But as Danville's coach, Gene Gurley, told me, hey, we've played King High School the last 3 years. As Sonny Cox just said, they beat Danville by 14 points, but Antez Clark did not play for Danville. So Danville will have their work cut out for them today. But yeah, I think Danville, they'll have to play a perfect game, but anything is possible.
I would think that the game that Danville played last night against Glenbrook North would really give them some confidence coming into this one.
Yeah, they dominated that game against Glenbrook North. Of course, Keon Clark, the big 7-footer, was just absolutely outstanding. Every shot he didn't block, he altered, so he'll be going up against a 7-footer, Richard Griffith. So, yeah, I think they should have a lot of confidence, but as Coach Gurley said, hey, we cannot have a letdown, not 1 minute, because if you have a lapse of maybe 2 or 3 minutes against a King High School, you're asking for trouble.
You know, it's very interesting. We watched Keon Clark dominate that game last night, and it just goes to show you how much a big man can affect the outcome of a basketball game. And yet, you look on the other side of the floor today, you've got not only a 7'1" player in Richard Griffith, but Thomas Hamilton checking in there at 7'4" and probably about 300 pounds. He may be almost twice as heavy as Keon Clark is, and he's 5 inches taller than the poor guy.
And you know, one thing about Thomas Hamilton last night, he played an outstanding basketball game, as you know, Dan. He didn't miss a shot from the field. He did everything Sonny Cox wanted him to do. He stayed down low. He didn't shoot from the outside. He didn't miss a shot last night. He's big, he's strong. When he comes to play, he can really be tough.
Well, right now, let's take a look at the road to Champaign for the King High School Jaguars, ranked #1 in the state. 30-0 so far this season, and we'll talk a little bit about their big men right now. Of course, they won against Proviso East last night. We didn't say much about Proviso, who came down here to defend their championship, the one they've won the last 2 years, and King absolutely dismantled them last night in the quarterfinals.
Well, one reason King dismantled them last night was because of Richard Griffith. In the second half, Richard went to work, 21 points, 11 rebounds. That leads the team. But in the second half last night, we'll see Thomas Hamilton at the high post going low down to Richard Griffith. They work this, what they call the fist play, this high-low, so well. You get it down low to the big boy, he slam dunks it. He is the reason they just dismantled Proviso East in the second half last night. He came to play in the second half as he did in the Public League Championship. In the second half, Richard Griffith just went to work.
You talk about field goal shooting. Richard and Thomas pitched just about a perfect game in here last night. Richard 8 for 9, Hamilton 8 for 8. They both scored 18 points, and got 18 points from DeWarren Stewart as well, so good balance for them last night.
Yeah, you know, briefly, you want to talk about DeWarren Stewart because he's the unsung hero. This young man can bury him from the three-point line, and when he shoots from the outside, that means you can't double down on the big man down low. So DeWarren Stewart is a very important part of the King High School offense today.
Now, Danville High School comes in with a record of 27-5. They've won 18 consecutive games, so the Vikings come in here very hot as well. And Gene Gurley, the head coach of the Danville Vikings, talked a bit about what it means to play against these two big men from King High School.
How you match up with King, and what gives you some confidence you can play with them?
Well, I think we match up with them better than some teams because we do have an individual, Keon Clark, at 6'11", and the other things that I think is to our advantage is our kids are familiar with them, having played them the last 3 years, and our kids have always taken it as a challenge and competed very well against them. So we're looking forward to the ball game.
And a look at Keon Clark, who had that terrific game last night at 15 points, 19 rebounds, blocked 6 shots that he was officially credited for, Kenny. I'm not so sure that he didn't have 7 or 8.
Well, I tell you what, he played an outstanding game last night. He's down here in Champaign. He wants respect. Look at how long his legs are. All they have to do is just lob it up. This young man just tips it right in. He told me, hey, I'm down here to earn respect. A lot of people say, hey, just because I'm 7 feet tall and skinny, I'm not strong. Hey, he wants to prove that he can play basketball, and off of his performance last night, I guarantee you he will be the most heavily recruited basketball player in the state of Illinois, because he's a senior and he hasn't signed a letter of intent yet.
Well, he's going to be a good player when he puts some weight on himself. And you saw what kind of finesse he brings to the floor, catching that ball in midair and laying it in with his left hand. And a great sense of timing with this young man, too, especially defensively.
Yeah, and that's something you can't teach, Dan, as you know. Either you have it or you don't. You can't teach that timing. I said last night, he reminds me a lot of Dallas Comedies who used to play at DePaul. This young man, Keon Clark, he has great timing. Look for him to block a couple of shots today.
Right now, let's take a look at the CarX factors of the game for the semifinal matchup between King and Danville. Brought to you by CarX Muffler and Brake. For mufflers, brakes, and shocks, don't worry. Call the CarX man. They did that last night, too. I'll have to work on that one a little bit.
I think King wants to control the tempo. They like to get up and down the floor. I think they want to control tempo. They need a good game from Stewart once again to open up the inside game. And for Danville, their coach said they have to rebound with the 2 7-footers. They need to get good outside shooting, because when you have a guy 7'1" and a guy 7'4" in the lane, you're not going to drive to the basket too many times. So Danville, they need to get their guards and their outside shot to fall, because let's face it, Hamilton and Griffith will be waiting for you down low in the paint. So you want to get the good outside shots to fall today.
Both these basketball teams out on the floor and still warming up. So while we have a few minutes, we want to send it over to Joe Passion, who's standing by with a Class A Slam Dunk champion, and that would be Tyrone Nesby of Cairo High School.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. We mentioned last week, Tyrone told me last week at the Class A finals, I didn't get the team championship, but I'm coming back for the dunk title. Let's take a look at some of those dunks that you were putting on, Tyrone. We'll look at our monitor down here. You didn't practice them in practice. You practiced them in the games, didn't you?
Yeah. That dunk right there, you know, I sent that dunk off to my cousin, Talon. He the one told me to do that dunk. I sent that dunk off to him.
All right, let's take another look at one of the others. And each time, the crowd was just roaring when you were roaring toward the basket.
Let me see. That one, that's Dominique right there. I had to give it to him. I was watching him play, and you know, he do that min wheel, right. So I had to get one.
Well, when we were talking about that, we said that's the human highlight film of high school basketball. Congratulations. We'll see you in the finals then tonight.
Oh, okay.
All right. Tyrone Nesby of Carroll High School, and he will be against the Class AA dunk finalists later on tonight, along with the Country Company's three-point showdown finals also later tonight. And just in a few more minutes, we have Danville against King in our second semifinal game. We will have that for you live from Assembly Hall in Champaign after these local messages.
When it comes to that first set of wheels, a little help never hurt anyone. The Chevy Cavalier, now with $400 first-time buyer's assistance, and it's already $740 less than the Ford Escort.
I'd go back to CarX.
We only fix what needs fixing.
You bet they'll get me back.
We show you what's wrong and what's right.
I'd go back to CarX.
At CarX, we know there are dozens of places you can go for brakes, shocks, exhaust repairs.
For sure, CarX will get me back.
We're going to give you just what you need at a great price, because we want to be the one you go back to.
Yeah, I'd go back. CarX will get me back.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Welcome back to the Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. Second Class AA semifinal between the undefeated Jaguars of Chicago King and the Vikings of Danville High School at 27-5. Already in the championship game coming up later tonight, Rockford-Guilford, which won the earlier semifinal over Palatine Friend in another nail-biter, Kenny McReynolds. Final score 60-58.
Boy, Palatine Friend they just love these nail biters, Dan. I mean, super sectional, the games yesterday, they just love to take it down to the end. But what a great basketball game, and it's a shame that someone had to lose. But, you know, this game we have here today, Danville, they really feel they match up well against King because of Clark. You know, King, it's not every day you go up against a 7-footer. They feel Clark is an outstanding 7-footer, and they've played King the last 3 years. They beat King last year. So they need a perfect 32 minutes, and they feel they just have to limit their turnovers and get good outside shooting. Their coach told me we cannot have more than 10 turnovers the entire game.
All right, Kenny, right now let's check in again with Joe Passion.
Interesting story about Sonny Cox, guys. Prior to the game, well, Sonny came into the arena. He had that big black cowboy hat on. Of course, down on the south side of Chicago, good guys wear black. But the interesting story about Sonny is he had lost his floor pass here for Assembly Hall. The stiff Assembly Hall security would not let him on the floor. I went over there, explained we need him for a TV interview. They said, no, we don't know who he is, can't come on the floor. Finally, they let him on the floor. We got the interview. Still doesn't have his pass. Dan?
Got a pretty good basketball team, though, even if he doesn't have a pass. Right now, time for the starting lineups for Game 2, and here's the public address announcer, Steve Adams.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the starting lineups for today's second semifinal round game featuring the Jaguars of Chicago King entering this game with a record of 30-0, and the Vikings of Danville entering this game with a record of 27-5. At forward for King, a 6'5" senior, number 22, Gerard Billingsley. At forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, 22, DeMarco Wright. At the other forward for King, a 7'4" senior, number 30, Thomas Hamilton. And at the other forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, number 20, Antaeus Clark. At center for the Jaguars, a 7'1" senior, number 54, Richard Griffith. And at center for the Vikings, a 6'11" senior, number 23, Keon Clark. At one of the guards for King, a 6'3" senior, number 20, DeWarren Stewart. And at guard for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 3, David Dixon. At the other guard for King, a 6' senior, number 10, Ronald Minter. And at the other guard for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 5, Travis Schofield. Introducing the coaches from King, assistant coaches, Ben Clark.
Chicago King crowded around the half-court circle, which is their method of operation before each game. Sonny Cox's Jaguars on a mission. And the starting lineup brought to you by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. Danville, Coach Gene Gurley, Wright, Antaeus Clark, Keon Clark, Dixon, and Schofield in the backcourt. And on the other side, Landon Sonny Cox sends out Billingsley, Hamilton, Griffith, Stewart, and Minter in the backcourt, and we are just about ready to go. The matchups look something like this, Kenny McReynolds. And up front, as always, major problems for anybody who takes on King with that great height. 7'4" and 7'1", Antaeus Clark across the board there with the 7'4" Thomas Hamilton.
It really should be a good matchup because, you know, it's not every day that King High School goes up against a 7-footer, but there's a pretty good one in Keon Clark. But this should be an outstanding basketball contest. Everybody wants to see King and Proviso East. Hey, Danville should all.
Second semifinal round game featuring the Jaguars of Chicago King entering this game with a record of 30-0, and the Vikings of Danville, entering this game with a record of 27-5. At forward for King, a 6'5" senior, number 22, Gerard Billingsley. At forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, 22, DeMarco Wright. At the other forward for King, a 7'4" senior, number 30, Thomas Hamilton. And at the other forward for Danville, a 6'4" senior, number 20, Antaeus Clark. At center for the Jaguars, a 7'1" senior, number 54, Richard Griffith. And at center for the Vikings, a 6'11" senior, number 23, Keon Clark. At one of the guards for King, a 6'3" senior, number 20, Warren Stewart. And at guard for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 3, David Dixon. At the other guard for King, a 6' senior, number 10, Ronald Minter. And at the other guard for Danville, a 5'11" senior, number 5, Travis Schofield. Introducing the coaches from King, assistant coaches, Ben Clark.
Chicago King crowded around the half-court circle, which is their method of operation before each game. Sonny Cox's Jaguars on a mission. And the starting lineup brought to you by Zenith. The quality goes in before the name goes on. Danville, Coach Gene Gurley, Wright, Antaeus Clark, Keon Clark, Dixon, and Schofield in the backcourt. And on the other side, Landon Sonny Cox sends out Billingsley, Hamilton, Griffith, Stewart, and Minter in the backcourt, and we are just about ready to go. The matchups look something like this, Kenny McReynolds. And up front, as always, major problems for anybody who takes on King with that great height. 7'4" and 7'1", Antaeus Clark across the board there with the 7'4" Thomas Hamilton.
It really should be a good matchup because, you know, not every day that King High School goes up against a 7-footer, but there's a pretty good one in Keon Clark. But this should be an outstanding basketball contest. Everybody wants to see King and Proviso East. Hey, Danville should also be quite a challenge.
Tip controlled by King, and Ronald Minter will walk it up. Danville in a zone. DeMarco Wright got a hand on it, and Keon Clark put to the basketball. Turnover against King, and Danville with a chance to go on top.
Nice move by DeMarco Wright. King, as usual, Dan, in his own defense.
Keon Clark had it knocked out of bounds. I thought Griffith had knocked it out last, but the referees say the other way, so King will have it.
Well, Keon has to be a little stronger with the basketball, as strong as he can possibly be.
Deep in the corner and perfect. DeWarren Stewart with a 3 to start the scoring in game 2.
Once again, DeWarren Stewart's picking up where he left off. When this young man is in the groove, he's an outstanding outside shooter.
DeMarco Wright lines one up, no good, and the rebound by Billingsley. Gerard Billingsley, 5 points and 6 rebounds last night against Proviso East. Billingsley down the baseline. Keon Clark affected that one and got the rebound.
He really did. He made Billingsley alter that shot.
Schofield to Wright. Quick shot up and did not get the roll. Rebound Griffith. Stewart missed again, and Keon Clark racking up some numbers early.
But see, they had to come down on the offensive end and come away with a couple of buckets. So far, Danville 0 for 3 from the field as King falls back into that humongous zone defense.
Wright leans in, had it blocked by Griffith. Down low it goes to Keon Clark, and he's fouled by Hamilton as he goes off.
Well, you have Keon Clark at 6'11", maybe 200 pounds against Thomas Hamilton, 7'4", 300. Here it is again.
Maybe 300.
Maybe 300, and Keon is maybe 200, and Thomas with the block, but the officials say also with the body.
Thomas Hamilton out, Eddie Washington in for King, and Keon Clark will shoot 2.
When Eddie Washington, the transfer, comes in, though, you also have a lot of beef with Eddie Washington. And he's no stick out there. I mean, Washington has some beef on him.
Eddie's 6'7" and about 260. Keon Clark makes them both. It's a 3-2 game early here in game number 2 at the Assembly Hall in Champaign. First touch on offense for Griffith.
Boy, he wants the ball. He really wants the ball.
David Dixon got a finger on it.
Look at Richard yelling at Ronald Mentor, give me the ball. Give me the basketball. Of course, you don't want to see teammates yelling at each other, but he wants the basketball. I bet he gets it this time. What did I tell you?
Got it out high. Mentor cut off by Travis Schofield.
Boy, Richard wants to move, Eddie, move.
Keon Clark hammered him as he went up for the shot. And that's something that Keon Clark will have to be very much aware of this afternoon, Kenny, is that ball fake by Griffith.
Yeah, he'll have to be aware of it. Here it is again. Richard gets the ball exactly where he wants it. Head fake, gets Keon Clark up in the air. Richard goes up as Keon comes down. Richard at the line for 2 shots. And Richard is on a mission, Dan. Ever since they lost the Public League Championship last year to Westinghouse, he's been on a mission. And you can see he's telling his team, give me the basketball. He told Eddie Washington to get out of the way. He's on a mission, and that mission is another state championship.
King has won this twice under Sonny Cox, in '86 and in 1990. This is their 5th trip to the Final Four under Sonny. In 12 years, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Antaeus Clark, Dixon penetrates. Schofield for 3, and he got it.
You have to find Schofield. He's a great 3-point shooter. You have to know where he is at all times.
Tie game, 5 apiece, and we've played almost 3 minutes here in the first quarter. Knocked away by Clark. They try to jam it down to Griffith, and we'll take a timeout with 4:56 left in the opening period. 5-5 game early, and one of your network sponsors is Country Companies Insurance.
I lent my car to my brother, and he demolished it. 2 years old, didn't have a scratch. Funny, about a month before my agent had recommended this extra keeper coverage, $21 more a year. I remember thinking, well, I probably don't need it, but if you think so. It turns out they gave me a brand new car, this year's model.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country is behind you.
Guess it's just a matter of trust.
Another day begins in Europe. And as it does, American Airlines will touch down in 13 European cities in 9 different countries. So whether it's business or pleasure that brings you to Europe, fly the airline that can have you there as early as tomorrow morning. American Airlines, something special to Europe.
Welcome back to Champaign. The team comparison for the second semifinal shows King with a pretty decided edge there, Kenny, in most categories. Danville, better free throw shooting team, and probably all around a little bit quicker.
Yeah, well, King has the big 2 7-footers, but one thing that has been an Achilles tendon for King all season has been the free throw shooting. But when you get 7-footers out there and you have 2, sometimes you don't worry about free throw shooting. You worry about just getting little cheap slam dunks.
Stewart looks inside. Washington to Minter. That'll be a 3 if it goes, but it's way too long. And Tejas Clark looks ahead. Schofield, a great catch and score.
Great catch, and he scored, Dan. They want to get down the court. I think the only way to beat King High School is to outrun them down the court. And you saw Schofield that time. That's exactly what he did.
7-5 Danville to the lead for the first time. Boy, Minter Walker, they've got away with it. Billingsley, long shot is wide, and 3 Danville players had the ball and couldn't decide which one was going to finally take control.
They knocked it out of Clark's hands, and it's turnovers like this that you can't afford. As Gene said before the basketball game, we can only afford 10 turnovers the entire game.
Tough shot up by Stewart, and he's fouled on the way.
Real tough shot. Stewart double pumped in the air. David Dixon called with the foul. Stewart, I think, is the unsung hero on King High School. See, this is a tough shot. See, he'll get by his man, double clutch pump in the air, but Dixon came and fouled him from the side.
DeWarren Stewart, 6'3" senior. Terrific free throw shooter. Griffith missed the dunk and a rebound. King's got it back. It's blocked out of bounds.
You see, Danville, they had the basketball again, Dan. They have to be really strong and aggressive when you get the rebound because King will knock it out of your hands. You see, Richard goes up, misses the slam dunk. Loose ball battle for Keon Clark, knocks it out of bounds.
Keon Clark knocked it away again. Now pick it up, Danville, if you can. They can't. And Hamilton knocked away by Schofield. Nobody can score, but a great tip by Griffith flying to the glass.
Outstanding tip by Richard Griffith. Nobody blocked him out. He'll be tough to block out anyway. Danville, all they have to do is pick the ball up.
8-7 King. They skip it to Antaeus Clark. His 3 from the corner is off the back iron. And Hamilton has the rebound.
Well, yeah, I think Thomas Hamilton can out-muscle Keon Clark.
Foul on Dixon, and that'll be number 2 on him.
And 2 quick ones on Dixon. Anticipating the pass, playing the passing lane, but he bumped DeWarren Stewart.
To the Danville substitution, number 21, Teron Watson, a 6'2" sophomore, checks in, and Antaeus Clark goes out. Here's another look at that tip by Griffith.
This is a great tip by Richard Griffith. No one around him, no one blocking him out.
Right now, Danville trying to front Griffith and keep Keon Clark somewhere near Thomas Hamilton. Stewart.
Oh, look at Richard. Perfect inside position. He went around DeMarco right let Richard get the inside position. Easy 2 for the All-American.
Richard has 6. King has a 3-point lead. Just under 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Dixon right, turnaround shot, batted away by Richard. Keon Clark got it back though, and he's fouled.
Keon Clark going with a little pump fake. You see Sonny Cox yelling rebound. You don't want to give them a second shot. Look at the nice block by Richard Griffith. Keon Clark kicks it out of the air, and he's hit on the ground by Stewart. And I think that's a pretty good foul because, let's face it, Clark was about to dunk it. You make him earn it, and he misses the free throw. So it's a great play by Stewart.
Antaeus Clark back for Danville, and Dixon will pull up a chair. Minter poked away, stolen. Here comes Schofield by Billingsley. Good pass. Rack it up for Teron Watson on a nice dish from Travis Schofield, and we're tied again at 10.
Great fast break, Dan. That's the picture-perfect fast break. The ball doesn't hit the floor, and a beautiful pass by Schofield.
Well, that's 10 of Proviso East last night, Kenny, was to run these guys into the ground, but they couldn't get it off the backboard to do it. Now,
yeah, the key is you have to get the basketball.
Griffith, tough shot, got his own rebound, no good, and Keon Clark ripped it away.
Fouled by Hamilton.
That's 2 on Thomas Hamilton, who raises his arms in disbelief.
Well, he better believe it, because it's a fact.
Thomas Hamilton picks up his second, and he will go to Sonny Cox's bench. Washington will check in, and also in for King, number 11, Larry Alloway, 6-foot freshman.
And right there, you see, not only did Hamilton grab him, he also shoved Keon Clark. Second personal.
Danville trying to break a 10-10 tie. Lob pass for Clark.
Oh, my. Oh, he wants respect, and I tell you, this is the game to earn it.
Sonny Cox livid on the other side at Eddie Washington for not getting over there to block that play.
You know, King is only shooting 25%, 3 out of 12, and Richard is mugged down low.
That zone caved in on Richard Griffith down on the right block. Here's another look at the previous play, Kenny, and what a great pass.
What a great pass. Just a beautiful, beautiful pass by Antaeus Clark. And Keon Clark goes up with his slam dunk, and boy, he's happy. Look at the wingspan on Keon Clark.
Warren Stewart missed it. Washington rebounds, and Washington fouled by Turhan Watson's going to pick that one up.
King High School still, Dan, only shooting 23%, 3 out of 13. Been allowed.
2-point shot on the way and good. Warren Stewart has 6 in the game.
Boy, I thought he was going to lob it up for Big Richard, but he took the shot instead.
And King into the man-to-man. I don't think Sonny liked the looks of that zone last trip, Kenny.
No, he really didn't. So now you don't want to force it into him because Richard is so strong.
Richard Griffith with excellent defensive position there, 3/4 of the way around, and a hand up in the passing lane.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play man-to-man, you use your quickness, move the ball around.
Inside it goes to the big man, but he missed it. Stewart, no, and the rebound follow-up and good by Gerard Billingsley, his first basket.
Well, King High School just crammed the backboards that time, Dan. Just crashed the offensive boards. They come away with 3 opportunities and the bucket.
Half minute left. Danville trailing by 2. Schofield and Holloway out front.
Gotta run it down. Forward corner, get the last shot.
Holloway not close enough to force a 5 count here. Now we go close to 10 seconds, and Danville will put it in gear. Schofield beat him all the way. A good pass to Clark. Turn around. He's short. King's got the rebound. Can they get a shot away? Holloway hit the back iron as the buzzer went off, and we've come to the end of the first quarter. Been a good one so far. King 14, Danville 12, and we're back to Champaign after these local messages.
A picture can say 1,000 words. Now with Zenith Color Television, it truly does. Zenith is the first TV ever to combine state-of-the-art technology with a choice of closed captioning as an aid to entertainment and learning. For true innovation in television, ask to see a Zenith.
Of your round ball playing field.
94 feet.
Who's taller, you or Larry Bird?
Larry's taller, but I'm better looking.
Hey, why you stick your tongue out when you shoot? How did you get where you are today?
Chevy.
Chevy?
I drove today.
DuPont Game Notes brought to you by Classic Pinnacle and Assure 2. What makes them better is you. The 5th Final Four appearance for the King High Jaguars. Terrific overall record in the state tournament play, and as we said, they're looking for their 3rd state title under Sonny Cox. Danville's been around plenty of times, too. In the Final Four for the 4th time. The Vikings have never won it, though.
King just dominates that backboard. Look at 13 to 7, 8 offensive rebounds.
Neither team shooting very well. And King has had a lot of easy shots inside, too, but they're getting a lot of shots because they pound that offensive glass. Lob over the top, and look who got it. At 6'4", DeMarco Wright with his first basket.
Now, that's 6'4" without the hair.
That's right.
6'7" with the hair.
We put an asterisk by his name in the scorebook here. Tied up at 14. Holloway. Stewart walk.
Travel.
And credit Antaeus Clark with some good defensive work on that particular possession.
Defensive work, and Stewart took the extra step as Michael Herman comes in to try to pick things up for King High School. And this young man is an all-stater last year in Class A at Hales Franciscan. He is really a basketball player.
Michael Herman, one of those two controversial transfer students that got King in some hot water back in the early part of this season. Lob over the top for Clark. DeMarco Wright set the screen, and Clark came wide open at the basket.
And, you know, they ran it perfectly because he curled around and took the perfect lob. The nice screen, then the curl, and Clark with the slam dunk. Boy, college recruiters will be knocking on the door Monday morning.
Griffith lost it, but retrieves it, and
Clean
ball
strip.
knocked away. Michael Herman saved it. King resets the offense. Stewart, a lot of shots for him in the early going, and he knocks this one down.
Yeah, see, he's an unsung hero. And you see right now, Stewart has 8 points, and he has 3 out of 8 shooting. So you have to find Stewart at all times, because he'll put that shot up, and not only will he put it up, Dan, he'll hit it.
Clark to Schofield. Clark in trouble over there. Double teamed. It's picked up by DeMarco Wright. Knocked away. Well, King really coming after it on defense this trip. Wright all the way down and fouled on the reach-in by Eddie Washington.
Yeah, you know, I think they bailed him out because I thought he was out of control. He had nowhere to go. He didn't really have good control. Now, here's Wright. He's dribbling right into your living room. He's kind of out of control, and Washington slaps him, and Richard also hit him. They're going to give the foul to Eddie Washington out high.
Teron Watson takes the seat. David Dixon back for Danville. Vikings basketball, tie game at 16 apiece. Schofield jump shot on the baseline. Good touch, but a little short. Up over the top for Clark. A nice catch, and we're going to get traveling.
Yep. He really didn't have anywhere to go. You know, I think you should maybe swing that basketball around because Richard Griffith was all over Keon Clark.
I'm not so sure. I think he had Keon on his hip a bit. He's left-handed, don't forget. He had room to go up there and dunk that thing with his left hand. Had he caught it and been able to keep his balance. Eddie Washington, a rare shot for him.
Boy, do you want Eddie Washington taking a shot that far away?
No reaction from Sonny Cox, really. Schofield wide open, lines it up. Griffith has it knocked out of bounds by Keon Clark.
Boy, did you see Richard going for that defensive board, though? He just, like, shoved Keon out of the way. Let's see if you can see Richard go for the board. He's like, watch out, Keon, I got it. And then Clark tips it out of his hand, out of bounds, Martin Luther King.
Richard may have been poked in the eye, though. Ronald Minter comes back in for King. 5:20 left in the first half. Nothing decided yet in the second semifinal. The winner of this one meets Rockford Guilford in the championship game tonight. Richard on the post, knocked away and out of bounds.
Boy, when Richard gets the basketball, they just collapse on Richard. They just collapse every time Richard gets the basketball. That's why the open shot is so important.
Stewart, another one, in and out, and the long rebound to DeMarco Wright.
On the baseline.
Oh, DeMarco Wright called for being out of bounds here right in front of us, and he was actually shoved out of bounds.
Okay, now look at Richard when he gets the basketball, and then, can you freeze it right there, Bob? And see, everybody just collapses right on Richard Griffin.
5-on-1 right now. We're tied at 16, and we're back in a moment. One of your network sponsors is Toyota.
If you've ever struggled with a handheld trimmer, you'll love this revolutionary new kind of trimmer on wheels. Just look how easy it rolls on those two big wheels and glides in any direction on this front-mounted mobile. It's perfect for trimming around rocks, along fences, buildings, sidewalks, and in all those hard-to-reach corners. The new DR is also a mower. It cuts tall grass, waist-high weeds, even wet grass and rough areas with never-before ease. There's no steel blade to bend or dull. You'll just love what the DR Trimmer Mower can do for you and your property. A big color catalog is just $2. Call toll-free 1-800-367-1900. That's 1-800-367-1900 for your big color catalog all about the revolutionary DR Trimmer Mower.
At halftime of this game, the Class AA three-point showdown brought to you by Country Companies, and we already have a Class A winner. And tonight, during our telecast of the championship game, you'll see the King of the Hill competition, the two winners from A and AA going at each other. Just under 5 minutes left in the first half. Low-scoring affair here in Champaign, and we're tied at 16. But not for long. That's a three-point field goal by Ronald Minter. His first basket.
King shooting just 7 out of 22 for 31%. I'm sure Coach Cox can't be too pleased with that.
Schofield having trouble with Minter. Was about to go over the timeline, trying to slam it off his feet, but no dice. Down the lane, tough shot on the way, no good. Washington rebounds and scores.
See, that's what you want. Washington down low, crashing the boards. You know, he's a big, wide body, and that's what he's in the basketball game for, while Thomas Hamilton is on the bench in foul trouble.
Biggest lead for either team, 5 points, 21-16. And Danville lost it out of bounds again.
Well, the turnovers. Boy, King High School just crashing the backboards, Dan. 9 offensive boards for King High School.
Minter again, and 3 more.
Well, they double down on Richard Griffith. They leave Minter wide open, and Danville calls timeout. A 7-point run for King.
And remember, coming up at halftime.
Right now, let's check in with Joe Passion roaming the Assembly Hall floor. Joe?
Every team, of course, has a team manager, but Danville might have a very unique team manager. Behind me, you see Dante Jackson over here in the maroon sweater. Dante is a graduate of Danville from last year. He was the team manager for football and basketball, and he hated being away from football during the fall. So he asked Coach Gorley, can I come back and be the manager for basketball? And he said, of course you can. A reason why he wanted Dante back is because many of the players, including Keon Clark, say he's not only the best fan they have, but he's an inspiration to the team. This is the kind of kid that makes these others feel how blessed they are when they've got a kid working as hard as Dante Jackson does for the Danville Vikings. Back to you guys.
All right, Joe, thank you. A reminder that this copyrighted broadcast is presented for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of the program without the written consent of Cost Broadcast Sales is strictly prohibited. Dan Roan and Kenny McReynolds at the Assembly Hall in Champaign.
Well, coming out the timeout, Dan, you have a set play. You should get off a good shot, and they throw it away.
Another turnover, 3 consecutive turnovers by Danville, and King has started to open this up.
And King has taken advantage of those 3 turnovers, converting them into points.
Michael Herman.
All right, she's back, she's back, she's back.
Stewart for three. Missed that one. Rebound Griffith.
That's Rashard's 5th offensive rebound, and when you get a good inside position like that, Dan, and you're 7'1", you just slam him back down.
Rashard Griffith has 8. Schofield threw it out of bounds, and that's 4 in a row for Danville. Gene Gorley just shaking his head over there on the bench.
Well, Gene said we had to limit our turnovers, and so far they have not done that.
King is on a 12-point run.
And the bench is dancing again.
Having some fun on their bench. Rashard, nice catch inside. Keon Clark challenged him, but picks up the personal foul.
Get the ball to Rashard. He's the man that with the hot hand now. That's 2 on Clark. I think you'd leave him in now, though.
Keon Clark, I think, Kenny, pretty much has to go the distance for Danville to have much of a chance in this game.
Yeah, you know, he can't pick up many cheap fouls. That's a pretty good one. He challenged Rashard Griffith there.
Rashard Griffith.
Now watch the bench if they make it. There you go.
Right on cue. Griffith has 10. The lead is 12 with 2:35 to go.
I tell you, I'm having as much fun watching the bench as I am the game.
Schofield's runner batted out of the sky by Washington. King on the run, 3-on-2, but they throw it out of bounds.
Yeah, a little too fast, throwing it out of bounds. Sonny's saying, slow down, calm down. Here it is again, Eddie Washington with the nice block. The one thing I like about that, not only did he block it, but then he controlled the basketball. They get it down to Michael, to not Herman, I'm sorry, to Stewart, who throws it out of bounds.
Long time since Danville's had a shot on the glass, and as DeMarco Wright goes in, he's fouled.
Danville said they needed a perfect 32 minutes of basketball. You can't let up or have a down spot for 2 or 3 minutes. It's been quite a while since they've scored, or as you said, even had a shot off.
Back iron on the first one. Michael Herman has come back for King. DeWarren Stewart on the bench. Second shot right through. 3 points for DeMarco Wright, averaging 18 a game on the year. 28-17. They've got Griffith in the post, so they can get it to him. Retains possession. Shot no good. Tip up and in, and it's Washington again.
Boy, the offensive rebound. I'm sure Danville will get a lesson on offense, on defensive blocking out at halftime.
And Teus Clark in trouble in the lane. Got it back to Schofield. Tough three. I think it was deflected by Minter out of bounds. I guess it wasn't because it belongs to King. My mistake.
King has 11 offensive rebounds, Dan, and 8 defensive boards.
Griffith slapped away by Schofield and out of bounds.
Nice hand by Schofield. As soon as Richard receives the basketball, Schofield goes down to double down and just slaps it out of bounds. Here it is again now. Watch Schofield. He'll reach in, slap it out of bounds.
What a piece of his arm, too.
Well, I didn't say how he slapped it out of bounds. I just said he hit it out.
16-1 run for the King Jaguars. They lead at 30-17, and we are under a minute for the first half. Game 2 this afternoon in Champaign. The first one won by Rockford Guilford, 60-58 over Fremd High School of Palatine.
Well, it looks like King will run the clock down, take the one final shot of the half.
Griffith out high. As we move down toward 30 seconds.
Well, say what you want about King High School, they're extremely well coached. I don't think you can argue that. You know, they're running the clock down. They do a great job with offensive rebounding. They do a great job getting the ball to Rashard Griffith.
They got it right where they wanted it. Griffith drops in another one. He's got 12. Now Danville trying to get off a last shot. DeMarco Wright's long one is deflected by Washington. That's good if it goes, and it does.
It counts.
Schofield picked it out of the air and banked it in. So the half ends on a high note for the Vikings of Danville, but in that second period, that's about all that went right for them.
With an 18-3 run, here it is. Rashard Griffith had it slapped out of his hand. Schofield, yeah.
He got it away.
He got it away with a fraction of a second to spare. And I'm not too sure Sonny Cox is too pleased about that one.
Well, we'll find out. Joe Passion standing by with Sonny. Joe?
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Sonny, tell us your thoughts on this first half and how you'd like to see things continue in the second half.
Well, I like the way things are going right now. We're kind of picking up our intensity on defense, and we're going to stay down in their jocks the second half, and we're going to see if they can stand the pressure that we're going to exert.
All right, Coach, go get them. Thank you very much. Sonny Cox does not mix his words. He's going right after them, and we'll be back to Assembly Hall for many activities here at the break. King in a big way over Danville in the second semifinal game. We'll be back after this break from one of our network sponsors.
I'd go back to CarX.
We only fix what needs fixing. You bet they'll get me back. We show you what's wrong and what's right.
I'd go back to CarX.
At CarX, we know there are dozens of places you can go for brakes, shocks, exhaust repairs.
For sure, CarX will get me back.
We're going to give you just what you need at a great price, because we want to be the one you go back to.
Yeah, I'd go back. CarX will get me back.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
A picture can say 1,000 words. Now with Zenith Color Television, it truly does. Zenith is the first TV ever to combine state-of-the-art technology with a choice of closed captioning as an aid to entertainment and learning. For true innovation in television, ask to see a Zenith.
We thought the engine had caught on fire. There we were, with smoke pouring from the hood. My mom was so upset. Luckily, I had that highway helpline number that my country company's agent gave me. I can get help anytime, coast to coast. Comes with my car insurance.
Country companies. It's nice to know when it matters most. The country's behind you.
Those extras make a difference.
They call me the doctor. The doctor of spring breaks. Daytona, Lauderdale. I've seen them all. But even the doctor's totally awed at the Honda spring break going on now.
Epic deals on all new Civics.
Preludes, Del Sols, and Accords. Plus you get a pair of sunglasses. Free. So groove on over to your Honda dealer. You're never too old for a spring break like this.
Welcome back to Champaign. Dan Roan along with Kenny McReynolds. Halftime of second semifinal here in the Assembly Hall. 32-19, King leading the Danville Vikings.
Yeah, too much Rashard Griffith so far. Rashard, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 5 offensive boards. They've done a great job getting Rashard into the basketball game. And, of course, that last run, Danville just fell behind. They gave up, what, an 18-2 run, 18-3 stretch?
All right, plenty more to come here at halftime, including the AA three-point shooting contest. We'll get to that when we return after these local messages.
Hello, I'm Steve Cashel with a Sports Channel Report update brought to you by the Fall Auto Group. The Chicago Blackhawks are in action tonight. They take the ice against the tough Montreal Canadian team who have a hold on first place in the Adams. The face-off is at 7 o'clock. Here's a look at the rest of the nighttime NHL action, as well as what you can expect in the NBA for Saturday night. Looking
for a great deal on a new van conversion? Check out Larry Fall's 2 van conversion locations on Gulf Road in Schaumburg and Lake Cook and Rand Roads in Palatine, where you'll find over 200 van conversions to choose from. If you like the comfort and room of a van conversion, but don't want to spend more than you need to, see the Larry Fall Van Conversion Specialist. GMC vans in Schaumburg on Gulf Road, Chevy vans on Lake Cook and Rand Roads in Palatine.
Welcome back live to Assembly Hall as we get set for our boys class AA 3-point finals. And the Country Company's 3-point showdown begins with Tim Page of Geneva. 3 racks, 5 basketballs each. Joining me is Dan Roan from courtside, watching the guys put them up from the twilight zone.
It appears, Joe, that Tim likes that head-on shot a little bit better. He's made 3 in a row, making 4, trying for the sweep of that middle rack, and he got it.
He's a student council president at Geneva High School, competes in cross country and track. In fact, he was the MVP in basketball and cross country this past season. And he has found his range for 10 points. 10 points for Tim Page of Geneva High School. That's a good, strong score to start off. You're right, Dan. That middle rack was strong for him. And this is Corey Duncan of Sterling High School, a member of the Warriors basketball team.
Corey a little short on those first 2, Joe, but he seems to have found the range now. I'm nervous coming out of the gate for everybody here, I think.
3-sport athlete, Duncan, at basketball, baseball, and golf. We got a lot of golfers here at this tournament this year, Dan. You notice that?
Oh, golfers can shoot. I'll tell you what.
You should know that.
This one can.
On his final rack, he has 8 points already. That's 9. This will tie him with the leader. Next basket ties him with the leader. Has 1 more.
You know?
And does not get it. 9 points for Corey Duncan of Sterling High School.
A tough last rack for Corey. He really had it going there in the middle.
We saw in the Class A 3-point showdown contest where the first rack was the death rack. Here it appears to be the final rack. This is out of Moline, Illinois, Moline High School, Jeremy Jackson. Jackson gets his first. He needs 10 to beat our leader, Tim Page.
Only 1 on that first rack. And Jeremy having a little trouble here.
Jackson also a member of the Moline baseball team. And finds a range there for 3 points. A 45-second clock to get 3 racks in the bottom of the hoop. And now he's finding the range on that last rack. For a couple. There's 3 out of 4 from the 3rd rack. And that's 6 points. 6 points for Jeremy Jackson. And now the final shooter for the boys class AA Country Company's 3-point showdown is Brian Yates of Heron High School. And Yates had 12 points, Dan, in the preliminaries, and this kid was red hot in the prelims on Thursday night.
Well, he got 3 out of the first 5. See how he does head on here.
And yes, you guessed it, Dan Roan. Brian Yates is an outstanding varsity golfer.
Well, of course he is.
Baseball, basketball, and golfing are his expertise tonight. He's focusing here. This will tie him with the leader. 1 more, his last ball. And he doesn't get it. No, check that. Here's his last ball now.
Oh,
and it's off the front. And so Tim Page of Geneva with 10 points, who led off the Class AA finalist here, and Tim Page of Geneva High School. And wouldn't you know it, we've got 3 teams here in the Final 4. Their names are Vikings, Geneva, the Vikings. So we'll have a lot of Vikings in the finals here, one way or the other. We will be back with more from the Assembly Hall floor. Halftime score of our semifinal game number 2. King leading Danville 32-19. And we'll be back after these local messages.
The spirit, the camaraderie, the emotion, The competition. The games. It's the 1993 Class AA Championship game. Tonight, starting at 10, followed by the consolation game.
We're celebrating Solozzi Edelson Chevrolet's 25th anniversary by offering you unbeatable prices. Choose the Steel Metro, or this Cavalier, this Lumina, or this popular S10 pickup. So whatever you choose, we guarantee you can't beat our deal, or we'll give you back the difference in cash. So visit Solozzi Edelson Chevrolet during our 25th anniversary sale in Elmhurst at York and Roosevelt Roads, where you always save more money.
Back live at the Assembly Hall, King leading Danville here at the break. And during this halftime festivities, the Class AA finalists shooting basketballs for the Country Company's three-point showdown. And Country Company representative Terry Heffernan here to pass out the awards for these four finalists. It'll be Tim Page of Geneva, who will advance on to take on the winner of the Class A three-point showdown, Doug Scott of Wheaton Christian. Jeremy Jackson of Moline picks up a fourth-place trophy. And then a tie for second place between Corey Duncan and Brian Yates. Here's Duncan of Sterling High School.
Sharing second place is Brian Yates of Herrin.
Brian Yates of Herrin, Illinois.
And finishing first.
And here is your Class AA champion, Tim Page of Geneva. And he will take on Doug Scott of Wheaton Christian. A very confident smirk on his face. He's ready for the finals already. And Tim will take on this young man, Douglas Scott, the winner of the Class A three-point showdown. Scott out of West Chicago's Wheaton Christian High School. And that'll all happen prior tonight to the championship game between the consolation and the championship games that you'll see live on this station. And back now over to center court to set up our second half. Back over to Kenny and Dan.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. Exciting three-point competition there at halftime. Offering maybe a little bit more excitement than we got from the second quarter in that game. King really rolled it up on Danville High School after trailing 16-14. They went on a run of 18-3, if my math is right, and that's why the Jaguars have this 13-point lead here at halftime.
Well, let me use my fingers and count that up.
You have to take your shoes off.
18-3. Just too much for Rashard Griffith. Let's face it, down low. They've done a great job getting the ball to their All-American. He's done a great job once he gets the ball down low, taking the lighter and thinner Keon Clark to school.
They really haven't done a good job with Rashard, and Hamilton hasn't played very much, the other 7-footer, because he was in early foul trouble. I'm sure we'll see the both of them together some in the second half. Right now, highlights of what happened in the first two periods, and as you said, Kenny, pretty much dominated by King.
Yeah, but on the fast break, one thing I think that Danville wants to do is run a fast break, and you see Schofield right there off the fast break. One thing King has done so well, they've done a great job of offensive rebounding off the missed shot. Guess who's there? Number 54 flying in with the outstanding tip. Well, Keon Clark has done a fine job also for Danville. Their 7-footer with the slam dunks, the alley-oop, and boy, when he slams one, he's happy. Look at the wingspan on that young man. From the slam cam, here it is again, another alley-oop. Clark off the curl, the nice screen set by Wright, and he pulls it down. Eddie Washington has played a lot because Thomas Hamilton has picked up a couple of fouls. And right here to Rashard Griffith, this ends up the scoring for King in the first half. And Schofield got on the board. You be the judge. Watch the clock at the bottom of your screen. The shot won't go. Rashard gets it tipped out of his hands. Schofield is right there at the buzzer. Just gets it off for the final 2 points of the first half.
Schofield banks it in to draw his team within 13. Leading scorers, Griffith 12, Stewart 8, and Minter 6 for King. Minter a couple of threes there. Schofield has 7, Keon Clark 7, and Wright with 3. And right now, let's go to Joe Passion, standing by with Danville coach Gene Gorley.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Gene, tell us a little bit about your halftime and what's going to come out here in the second half.
Well, I thought we played a good 8 to 10 minutes, obviously, in the ball game, and we had a bad stretch there in the second quarter where we turned the ball over, I think, 5 times in a row. You can't do that against a team the caliber of King.
All right, Coach, have a great second half.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gene Gorley. And We'll be back with that second half here from Assembly Hall right after these local messages.
Can you possibly be as nice as you seem?
Yes, ma'am.
In that case, how about some tickets to a game?
No.
Can I get a picture of you and my husband?
You know, I'm your biggest fan.
And Mike, how about a game of horse?
Can't you see I'm doing the commercial?
Hey, Michael, is that your blazer?
Yep.
We have a ride?
Sure. Hop in.
I'd go back to CarX.
We only fix what needs fixing.
You bet they'll get me back.
We show you what's wrong and what's right.
I'd go back to CarX.
At CarX, we know there are dozens of places you can go for brakes, shocks, exhaust repairs.
For sure, CarX will get me back.
We're going to give you just what you need at a great price, because we want to be the one you go back to.
Yeah, I'd go back. CarX will get me back.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Second half action just ready to get underway here from the Assembly Hall in Champaign. King High School of Chicago in the dark uniforms leading 32-19 over Danville. Thomas Hamilton begins the second half still on the bench. Eddie Washington on at the forward spot for King, and a good anticipation there by Danville. Antaeus Clark stole it, and now they try to go quick the other way. And DeMarco Wright lays it in.
And see, that's what they want to do, Dan. The only way to beat King High School, I think, if you can beat him down court, as Thomas Hamilton's at the bench, off the bench at the scorer's table right now. Michael Herman starts the second half for the King Jaguars.
Always looking inside toward Griffith.
Boy, look everywhere Griffith is. That's just a great hand right there by Clark.
Oh, and then a bad pass by Dixon trying to get it to Schofield on the wing. King without a shot so far. Here's one on the way, and right through for three. Gerard Billingsley.
Well, they haven't taken many shots. That's only their 13th shot of the game. But they hit some big clutch ones. Man-to-man defense for King High School, something we haven't seen a lot of.
What a tough shot by Antaeus Clark, his first points of the afternoon. Clark makes it 35-23. Hamilton and Herman having trouble getting into the game, Kenny. Long from the corner, way too long. Eddie Washington rebounded and fouls as he goes back up for the follow shot. DeMarco Wright whacked him. American Dairy Stats brought to you by Milk and the people who produce milk, the dairy farm families of Illinois and Wisconsin. Field goal shooting down both ways. A free throw shooting pretty even. With the rebounding edge going to King as expected, Kenny, and that told the tale in the first half. Offensive rebounding in particular.
Yeah, they have 12 offensive rebounds, and you just can't give that many rebounds up to a team like Martin Luther King High School.
Eddie Washington, 5 points in the game, gets one more free throw. Little short, DeMarco Wright had it. Warren Stewart whacked him.
See, now Eddie has a chance to stay in the game because Hamilton's at the scorer's table. Well, I'll miss this one and stay a couple of minutes more.
Well, he will. Antaeus Clark pull-up shot. Hit the back iron. DeMarco Wright going for the rebound, but Griffith runs it down. And now a steal by Dixon. He lines up a three. Schofield thought better of it. No, he backs it out and shoots. Danville with 3 shots and 3 pretty good ones. And another steal by Schofield.
Schofield's everywhere, isn't he?
Coming in after the big man, but Griffith took care of him.
Yeah, you're not going to challenge Richard Griffith, not if he's Schofield. Schofield's listed at 5'11". He looks more like 5'9".
Stewart too hard. Antaeus Clark knocked it out of bounds, and King will have it. And finally, Thomas Hamilton gets the opportunity to check in. Sonny Cox.
Is he winning or is he losing?
You'll never know by looking at him. I'll tell you that. Oh, inside Hamilton wide open. And Thomas Hamilton picks up his first basket of the game. 3 minutes into the third quarter.
Well, 2 quick fouls in the first quarter kept him on the bench most of the first half.
Schofield inside. Well, back and forth it goes, and a reach-in foul called. I believe it's going against DeWarren Stewart. Somebody should have shot that basketball.
Yeah, a little passing, maybe 1 or 2 passes too many. Here it is right here. You give it over to Clark. Now, Clark should go up and dunk it. He saw Richard and said, I don't want it, you take it.
And Tejas Clark makes the first one. See if Coach Cox decides to keep DeWarren Stewart in. Now he's on his way to the bench. Michael Herman back on for King. Tejas Clark hits them both. High post Hamilton. Soft jump shot, hit the back iron. One-handed rebound by Keon Clark. Haven't heard much from Keon in the last few minutes.
Yeah, he's been very quiet, but that's a nice rebound.
Right. Thought about a three, didn't take it. Good fake. And Tejas Clark trying to reverse.
Right around Thomas Hamilton.
They're fortunate that the foul didn't go against Hamilton, which would have been his third. Instead, it goes against Michael Herman.
Watch the way he goes right around Thomas Hamilton. Nice little jump step, goes in and fouled as he attacks the basket. And Tejas Clark.
Clark's been busy at that free throw line in the last couple of minutes. He's got 5 points all in the third quarter. Made them both. And with that, we'll take timeout. 4:35 left in the third. It's 38-27 King. And one of your network sponsors is Toyota.
Reason number 15, and back. Reason number 85, the Sox are cooler than the Cubs. And reason number 47, because Sports Channel has more games than anywhere else.
Reason number 1, and the number 1 reason is because we have 110 White Sox games right here on Sports Channel.
We have an understanding of our team that in order for us to win, we need each other.
Just like in the class, you communicate, you learn from one another. You know, you just don't learn from the teacher, you learn from your classmates as well.
Alone, you can only go so far, but together, you can achieve anything.
I can't do it alone, and neither can you. Stay in school.
Factors of the game brought to you by CarX. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Hey, you got it.
Thank you.
I think King has done a good job controlling the tempo. I think Stewart has played outstanding. Danville, they have not done a great job rebounding, and the outside shot has not really been there. They're only shooting 36% for the game.
Hey, to King's credit, they've played them pretty tough on the perimeter defensively.
Sure, they really have.
Shots haven't really come easily for Danville out there. And, of course, they're not going to get a whole lot on the inside either. Billingsley sealed off on the baseline. They double Hamilton, and as they rotate the ball to the other side, they get 2 people in there on Griffith as well.
So now your outside game needs to come through.
Keon Clark was fouled by Richard Griffith in that battle for the rebounds. 2 fouls on Richard, who did not care for the call.
No, he's not a happy camper right now.
He and Hamilton have 2 apiece. That's 3 on the team in the second half against King.
Okay, now I attack either one of them. So see, they're falling back. They're going to play man-to-man or zone. They're going to play zone.
Right back into that zone and trying to protect those 2 guys. This may afford the opportunity for some outside shots, though. And Schofield looks like he's ready to take a couple.
He's always ready to take.
A bit of trouble here. Now Dixon. Clark right backs it up. Got it right over the top.
Well, good ball movement, just couldn't come away with it.
Herman shoots a pass inside to Hamilton. Stop that, said Thomas Hamilton.
My goodness. Boy, look at the basket. It's still shaking.
That may be shaking when we come back to the finals tonight. It's a lot of human being out there on the floor.
Yeah, he takes up a lot of real estate, that's for sure.
Well, one little mistake by DeMarco Wright. He lost it. They try to shovel it inside. Antaeus Clark fouled on the floor, and Ronald Minter will be the man who picks it up. 4 team fouls on King. Sonny Cox waves his arms in disgust on the Jaguars bench.
Watch Thomas Hamilton now. Boy, this is a big young man. Goes up for the slam dunk. Oh, man, look at that camera. Basket still shaking.
Clark, nowhere to go. Good pressure by King. Schofield lines it up. Washington the rebound. Washington's on for Griffith now. High lob pass. Knocked out of bounds off the leg of Gerald Billingsley.
And Michael Herman gave the pass to Billingsley, and he just couldn't handle it.
Schofield trying a little penetration. Clark for 3, way short.
You have to get a better shot than that, Dan. You don't get many second chance opportunities against King.
Minter through everybody.
Hey,
nice work by Schofield.
Can he dribble it down?
3 on none, and they throw it away. Out of bounds. Yep, out of bounds to King.
Well, see, Clark had to just pick that up and hold it or dribble it down himself. I would have loved to have seen him come down and dribble it.
I'm not so sure he couldn't. We've seen him do most everything else.
And he could put the ball to the floor. Quiet afternoon, though, for Keon Clark.
It's 7 points in the game so far. Hamilton with Clark behind him. Soft shot not there. Thomas got his own. They're swinging at it, but they can't reach it. Billingsley. Herman may have traveled. Tip up and in, and that's Eddie Washington.
Another wide body on King.
Eddie Washington with 7 points in this game.
Boy, what do these guys eat?
Everything.
I mean, look how big they are. My goodness.
Schofield for 3. Spun out again, and a rebound. King all over it on the inside. Nice job of defensive rebounding position by the Jaguars.
Yeah, you can't get around these guys. Once they get that great position, you're not going to get around Eddie Washington. What was he, about 6'7", 250?
You saw Eddie Washington spin inside of Clark there as that shot was in the air.
Yeah. Good spin move. Takes a little talent to do that and a little coaching to teach it.
Good fundamentals. Hamilton rejected by Clark. King gets it back, however.
And you know Hamilton wants this one back now. He's like, hey, give me the ball.
He's shaking his head, okay.
Look at his fingers now. He wants the ball.
You got me that time.
They got him spreading out.
Under a minute, and King content to wind it down here. They led by 13 at halftime. They lead by 15 at the moment. Minter. Billingsley bangs in, took a tough shot and scored.
They don't come much tougher than that shot, Dan. All King has to do now to advance to the final, just play smart basketball.
Schofield, double pump, short off the glass, rebound King as the clock runs out. The third quarter has come to an end, and King High School juggernaut appears to be rolling on toward the championship game tonight. 44-27 after 3, and we'll return with the final period after these local messages.
When it comes to that first set of wheels, a little help never hurt anyone. The Chevy Cavalier, now with $400 first-time buyer's assistance, and it's already $740 less than the Ford Escort.
I'd go back to CarX.
We only fix what needs fixing. You bet they'll get me back. We show you what's wrong and what's right.
I'd go back to CarX.
At CarX, we know there are dozens of places you can go for brakes, shocks, exhaust repairs.
For sure, CarX will get me back.
We're going to give you just what you need at a great price, because we want to be the one you go back to.
Yeah, I'd go back. CarX will get me back.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
Game summary brought to you by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Well, look at the game summary. Richard, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 18-0 second chance points for King. Danville, 10 turnovers. That's way too many. Their coach said the most they could have would be 10. They were outscored 22-7 in the second quarter. Well, if the Vikings are to have a chance, they really have to crank it up right now.
Antaeus Clark from the corner for three, and they do. Clark having a strong second half, 9 points for him. Lead back to 14.
I think defensively now, if I'm Danville, I put pressure on the basketball, you know, try to make it an up-tempo basketball game, try to go for some steals, because if you just lay back, all the Jaguars have to do is run out the clock.
Hamilton's hook not there, but Rashard Griffith pounds in the rebound.
Well, that's a set play. I'm sure Thomas would tell you that's a pass.
Well, it's 2 points any way you look at it. Clark in heavy traffic, gets the shot up on the board, but it spins away. And another rebound for King. Hamilton traveled, I think. The wild shot. Griffith got the rebound. Tough shot for Richard. Keon Clark battling the two big men, and they get it. Schofield and Billingsley. And a nice shot by Travis Schofield.
Travis Schofield has played a pretty good basketball game. You know, he's all over the floor. One thing he has shown today, Dan, he's not afraid to go into the land of the Giants.
I was just going to say, he has no fear. Hamilton, 16-footer. Right through.
You know, he's 7'4", 300+ pounds, but he has an outstanding touch for a guy that size.
You know, in the past, last year I'm talking about, we've seen Thomas put up a few three-point shots.
Yeah, he can put them up.
But the Kings stats for this year show neither he nor Griffith shooting one from three-point range.
Well, I think Sonny Cox has told him, hey, look, let's stay down low.
Timeout called by Danville coach Gene Gorley with 6:23 to go. One of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance.
I may not know exactly what I want, but I sure know what I don't want. I don't want to end up like Uncle Harry, stuck in a frustrating job, can't afford to retire.
But here's a few things you can look
My
at.
insurance agent at Country Companies got me started on my retirement plan 3 years ago.
Country Companies. It's nice to know when it matters most, the country's behind you.
Uncle Harry didn't plan to fail. He just failed to plan.
Hey, could you guys give the dog a B-A-T-H?
Milk's got a lot going for you.
Hey, Tommy, we're going to give Oscar a bath.
Carbohydrate for energy, but it's slim on calories. With magnesium for balance, riboflavin for agility, and protein for stamina.
Wow, is he clean already?
Milk, it does a body good.
Don't forget, we've got hammer time following this game. The AA Slam Dunk Contest, and there are your final 5 from all different areas of the state. And later on tonight, the King of the Hill three-point showdown. That's after the consolation game. Doug Scott of Wheaton Christian, the Class A winner. Tim Page of Geneva, the AA three-point shootout winner. They'll go against each other tonight. Danville had turned it over, but Griffith bounced it on the end line. Schofield looking for somebody to come into, goes way out front. Schofield in the corner, thought about it. And Teus Clark missed it. DeMarco Wright battled it for it. He hasn't really touched the ball very much. Now a steal. And a foul called as DeWarren Stewart went hard to the basket.
See, I'm a big DeWarren Stewart fan. You know, not only does he play so well from the perimeter with his outside shooting, but he's so quick, and defensively, he's a solid defensive basketball player right there. See, Dan, in the passing lane, then he really is quick down the court, and he's fouled from behind. I think he'll make an outstanding college prospect. I really do, because when you get a guy with his outside shooting ability, that's nothing but an added plus. Is Sonny winning or losing? I mean, we keep taking a shot at Sonny. He's up 49-32, and he has this frown on his face.
We may not see him smile until tonight, if and when he wins the championship, and we may not see it even in that event. DeMarco Wright took a wild one. Rebound Dixon trying to find some space in there among the Giants. Block shot. Danville will keep it.
Here it is again. Rashard Griffith once again. This young man has come to play.
Certainly a different type team, Kenny, than Sonny has brought down to Champaign in past years. No Marcus Liberty type players on these clubs, and these guys just grind you down.
Yeah, when you have two 7-footers, Rashard Griffith and Thomas Hamilton, then you come off the bench with Eddie Washington. You're right, Dan. They just grind you down until there's nothing left.
Schofield having a tough time finding the range in the second half. King on the run. Hamilton laid it up and in.
He's happy, isn't he?
About the most animation we've seen from Thomas Hamilton in the tournament so far.
You're right there.
But he did a good job filling the wing on that break, and a nice finish at 7-4 and 300. Here it is.
What about the first pass, though, by Mentor? Gives it up back to Hamilton. Mentor with the under-the-arm pass. A little showtime. Watch Thomas Hamilton's reaction. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go eat.
Kenny. He missed the free throw. He's got 8 in the game. Lead is 20 now, 52-32. Clark found Keon Clark, and Keon let him have it. Keon has 9.
Keon's been extremely quiet today.
Keon Clark got his hand on that pass. Griffith strong to the basket and fouled again. Boy, and the big bodies are starting to take over.
Yeah, in the second half, there's something about the second half. Rashard Griffith just comes alive. Nice step through, nice dish down to Rashard Griffith. He gets the inbounds pass there. Just a beautiful dish off by DeWarren Stewart. Rashard at the line now. Beautiful pass by Stewart.
What a player Rashard Griffith will make Stu Jackson at Wisconsin.
No question about that. And I think Thomas Hamilton will make Lou Henson an outstanding player right here on this floor.
Well, Thomas has some work to do, as you can see, and he knows it, and the Illinois coaches know it.
But he has such great potential. I think his potential is unlimited.
Keon Clark, whose soft jumper would not go, and Hamilton is slapped on the hand as he tries to clear the pass.
And one thing I liked about Hamilton, when he gets the rebound, you know, he keeps the ball up nice and high, makes you jump up. If you're going to slap it away, you're going to have to foul him to get it. He doesn't bring the ball down low, so the little guys can reach in and pull it away.
Just under 4.5 left. 55-34. Down low it goes from Hamilton to Griffith. Kicked out of the air by Minter, who appeared to be clobbered down there, but no call. Deep pass for the big guy, but he put it on the floor. Had to take it away. DeWarren Stewart bounced it on the line.
Well, see, he could just keep that up high. You don't want to bring that down.
He was trying to regain his balance.
Yeah, see, here it is again. Nice long pass right into your living room. Put it down off his face. Oh, nice shot.
A lot of pressure. They're going to look up for Hamilton here.
There it is.
And the finish.
And the finish. Well, that may be the exclamation point right there.
Double figures for Hamilton.
Oh.
Clark tries to respond on the other
Hamilton
end.
pushed him.
Hamilton.
Oh, man, you hear me go, oh. Hamilton, when he hits you, you feel it. Travel. No foul.
Don't get a foul down deep. David Dixon fouled DeWarren Stewart as King was looking for another lob up high, this time to Griffith.
Well, here's a lob. DeWarren Stewart leads it up for Thomas Hamilton. He gets off the ground and slams it down. Here it is from the slam cam. Nice lead. Thomas Hamilton with the slam.
For David Dixon. At 5'11". He gives away a foot and 5 inches there to Hamilton on that break. Stewart makes them both. And a substitution. The freshman, Larry Holloway, checks in. And Ronald Minter takes a break. Minter's been pretty quiet, but for a couple of three-pointers in that breakaway second quarter.
Yeah, the second quarter really put it away for King High School. You know, you're up now, Dan, what, 59-34 with 3.5 to go. I'm not so sure. I wouldn't, you know, you may want to take Hamilton and Griffith out because they have a championship game to play tonight.
Well, we'll see what Sonny does. So far, no big men to the scorer's table. Bad pass inside, taken away by King. Stewart airballed the three. Hamilton could not save it. I've never seen photographers move so fast.
Hey, if you had Thomas Hamilton coming full speed towards you, hey, if I had Thomas Hamilton coming full speed towards me, I would find some knees to learn how to run, to get out of the way. Well,
Warren Stewart is out, yet Keon Clark takes a seat. Schofield is also out, so new blood on the floor for Danville. And a missed dunk right there.
Look at Sonny Cox.
Michael.
He's upset. Come on, Sonny, you got the big lead. The game's won.
No good. Hamilton's got people breaking down the other way. They try to leave it for Griffith. He regains control. And now Alloway circles back out front. On the floor for Danville, Adam Kirchhoff, number 24, number 12, Demetrius Perryman. Also 14, Aaron Johnson. And 13, Darrell Robinson. King trying to get things set up here. 2.5 left. Over the top for Hamilton from Griffith, and what a play.
Oh, man, when your 2 7-footers can combine and do that, team up together.
Three-point shot on the way is short. Danville's second liner is battling for the rebound. Another three, no good, and the follow is good this time. And Demetrius Perryman is in the book.
Yeah, I think Griffith and Hamilton will come out now as you see several players checking in for King.
Under 2 minutes. What a great play by Herman for two.
Michael Herman, this young man was an all-stater last year. You know he can play next season without Richard and Thomas. Michael Herman could score 30, 35 points a game. Boy, but what a play the two big 7-footers combined for, huh? Richard Griffith gets the ball, just lobs it right up to Thomas Hamilton, and slam with the one hand. Whew.
Hamilton is out, Griffith is out, Herman is out. Sonny Cox clears the bench. And you'll get a chance to see them again tonight in the AA championship game as King goes for third title against Guilford of Rockford. Down low, Perryman, two more. 14 for King, Alexander Morris. Number 11, Larry Alway. 15. I don't have him in my book. Leonard Miles. The basket scored by Antoine Simmons. Trouble here. Miles on the way. Planted it. Holding his head. He's thrilled to death.
Oh, man. Hey, why not have fun, huh? They're going to the championship.
King on the run again. Alway trying to track it down. The freshman circles back with 30 seconds left. Nice soft shot up and in.
DeForest Nash.
DeForest Nash, another of the transfers.
Well, he came just in time to King, didn't he?
I'd say so. Oh, wow. Shot. Miles raked it away.
See, the guys on the bench, they want to show that they can play. They want more playing time, so they come out and they play hard.
3 seconds left. Danville gets the final shot off. It's no good, and that is it. After a very competitive opening 10 minutes, Chicago King put the pedal to the metal, and the Jaguars roar into the championship game with a 69-38 victory over the Vikings of Danville High School. And our player of the game, brought to you by Milk. Enjoy real dairy products. Look for the real seal in your grocer's dairy case. One of the Twin Towers, Kenny, Rashard Griffith.
Yeah, this is really, boy, what a performance by Rashard. 17 points, 13 rebounds. He came to play today. What an outstanding performance by the 7'1" All-American.
Rashard leading the way to a 69-38 victory.
Well, I tell you, Rashard, Thomas Hamilton, DeWarren Stewart, once again, Dan, with that outside shooting. How do you stop these guys? I mean, it's very, very difficult. And if anybody can do it, it can be, and it will have to be, Rockford.
Rockford-Guilford will have the dubious honor of taking on King tonight in the championship game, but Guilford will bring some size to the party. Ben Holstrom has played a terrific tournament down here, 6'8" and 230. He can match weight with King in any respect, so that will be a factor in the game tonight. Joe Passion standing by down on the end of the court with the winning coach.
Thanks very much, Dan. Sonny had a chance to almost empty your bench here toward the end. A little help there in getting ready for the championship game?
Well, I wanted to empty the bench before then, but we want to make sure that we win the game. And when I was sure that we were going to win the game, then we substituted.
Rashard, 17 big points tonight. Again, you and Tommy kind of dominated down there. What is your thoughts about finally getting to this championship game after the last 2 years missing out?
Well, I feel it was long overdue because we were a better team. We're a better team now than we were then. I ain't going to cry with spirit milk. You know, we lost 2 years in a row in the semifinals in the championship. But we're here now, we're making the best of our opportunity.
Coach, how about you? You finally get to the final game. I know that's been your goal all along.
Well, I wanted it for the kids too, you know. Rashard came in and he played on an undefeated team, and he said he wanted to go out, and I think it's only fitting that he goes out on an undefeated team.
Congratulations, guys. We'll see you in the championship game tonight. Thanks very much, Sonny Cox. He has finally made it to the championship, and so has his two big fellas, Griffith and Rashard. And we will be back with more from the Assembly Hall floor. It'll be King and Guilford in the championship game tonight. We'll be back after this break from one of our network sponsors.
Hello, I'm Steve Cashel with a Sports Channel Report update brought to you by the Fall Auto Group. The Chicago Blackhawks are in action tonight. They take the ice against the tough Montreal Canadian team who have a hold on first place in the Adams. The face-off is at 7 o'clock. Here's a look at the rest of the nighttime NHL action, as well as what you can expect in the NBA for Saturday night.
Looking for a great deal on a new van conversion? Check out Larry Fall's 2 van conversion locations on Gulf Road in Schaumburg and Lake Cook and Rand Roads in Palatine. where you'll find over 200 van conversions to choose from. If you like the comfort and room of a van conversion, but don't want to spend more than you need to, see the Larry Fall Van Conversion Specialist. GMC vans in Schaumburg on Golf Road, Chevy vans on Lake Cook and Rand Roads in Palatine.
Welcome back to Champaign. 69-38. King beats Danville in the semifinals here this afternoon, and the American Airlines Eagle play of the game brought to you by American Airlines and American Eagle. Something special in the air.
Well, the King Jaguars, they love the fast break. They get up and down the floor. Thomas Hamilton receives the lob and the slam dunk for the King Jaguars. Dan, our play of the game.
So it's King and Rockford Guilford in the championship game tonight. Upcoming in a moment, the AA Slam Dunk competition. Right now, one of your network sponsors, Country Companies Insurance.
I lent my car to my brother. 2 years.
Reason number 42, we'll rock and win.
Number 54, watch me export the scoreboard.
Reason number 24, we have more Sox games than anywhere else.
Reason number 1, and the number 1 reason is because we have 110 White Sox games right here on Sports Channel.
How many in here have dreams?
You have an opportunity every single day. We can use all kinds of excuses. They're easy.
I'm not asking you younger kids here today to do the cool thing or to do the hip thing. I'm asking you to do the right thing. And the right thing is to go on and get your education.
If you don't go, you'll never know. Stay in school.
Rattle, rattle, thunder, clatter, boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, call the CarX man.
All right, back live here at Assembly Hall. Danville goes down to defeat. They'll be in the consolation game against the King Jaguars, the #1 unbeaten team in the state at 31-0. But now the crowd stays on hand here at Assembly Hall because we're ready for the Class AA Dunk Finals. The winner of this contest will take on the Class A dunk champion, and starting things off is Heath Turando of LaSalle, Peru, and he misses his first dunk.
Yeah, you know, Joe, it's very easy also when you do a fancy dunk like that. You know, you try to reverse to miss, but Heath will have another chance in the second round.
And remember, Heath was in the Final Four last year, Kenny, so he's aware of what goes on here. He has had a little taste of this. In fact, there's 3 of the 5 Class AA dunk finalists that have been here, including Derek Grimm of Morton. Gets that little reverse two-hander.
Nice move by Derek Grimm.
And up next will be a guy who was really shaking down the house Thursday night in the semifinals, Shelby Robertson of Springfield High School.
How tall is he?
Robertson goes up.
Oh! Oh, man.
5 foot 10 inches tall, Kenny.
Oh.
And he just explodes off the floor.
Man,
here's another look.
Watch this. Watch the way he goes up, Joe. This guy's 5'10", to 360, and then watch the way he hangs and spins on the rim when he comes down. Oh, man, that reminds me of the old days.
Now, here's another Willie Franklin of Urbana. He shook down the house Thursday night, too. And that's why.
Hey, nice.
I'll tell you.
Willie.
And now this is the glide. This is the glide. He's got his bros up in the stands, and they all glide back and forth to let him know that his takeoff was good, and his landing looks pretty good, too.
Yeah, the takeoff was great. The reverse hangs on the rim, then he comes down with the glide.
From Kankakee High School, Jamie Sykes, one of the outstanding all-conference McDonald's All-American nominee in basketball.
Yeah, he's going to attend Valparaiso, I understand, correct?
That's right, and he is going all the way without the dribble. The fly in. He does get a little bit of the rim, but he took off.
I'm sure Homer Drew's happy. the coach of Valparaiso.
It's interesting that Jamie's such a great baseball player. He's looked at some potential pro baseball offers, but has decided to go and keep that Valpo program going strong.
Well, you know, Lloyd McClendon of the Pittsburgh Pirates, formerly of the Cubs, played baseball at Valparaiso, so maybe Jamie can play both.
All right, here's Heath. He missed his first. Baseball, basketball, and misses his second.
Well, you know, a little bit too fancy, I think, Joe. Your timing has to be perfect on a dunk like that.
Heath played in that game in the super sectional at the Metro Center in Rockford, losing to Rockford Guilford. So he's very familiar with the surroundings here. And from Morton now, here's Derek Grimm. Now, if they do not take a shot or attempt a shot, they do get to go back and start over again as they do here.
Well, that's fair.
That's fair. And there's the bounce and the two-handed behind the back slam.
You know, that takes perfect timing. You really have to practice a move like that. Your timing has to be absolutely perfect as we see it again. You throw it up in the air, then you get the bounce. You go up behind the back. Perfect, perfect timing.
All right. Now, here's Robertson again. Now, this guy, ice, he's an ice face, okay? All ice. But watch him put on the show. Yeah, baby. And now he starts to pull out those 2 6-shooters. He just banged home a big slam. Shelby Robertson.
He gets a 27 on this dunk. Joe, I like the way he spins when he comes down with the 6 shooters.
Okay, now here again is Willie Franklin. He's backing up on his own airstrip out here. And here's the takeoff.
Oh, nice.
The left-handed power slam. And there's the takeoff, the glide.
And there's the fans in the stands with the glide.
And he glides back to the bench. 30 points, that's a perfect score.
Perfect 30, goes up hard with the left hand, and the slam dunk, and the glide. Now, what happens if he misses? Does he glide, or does he go back on the runway?
Crash and burn, baby. Here's Jamie Sykes, and he goes in with a big little reverse slam, two-handed. Sykes can really get off the ground. He's going to help Valpo in a big way.
He really can, Joe. He's only, what, 5'10"?
All right, each player gets 3 attempts. So this will be the final attempt by Heath Taranto, a student council, baseball and basketball. He's a great first baseman and pitcher over at LaSalle, Peru. And he gets the jam on the one-handed scoop slam.
Here it is again, Joe. The one-handed scoop comes around the rim, and he comes away with, what, a 27.
A strong score, but certainly won't help him to the title. Now here's Derek Grimm. Derek was also in these finals last year. And he gets a bounce off the glass and slams it home.
Really impressed, Joe, with the timing of these young men. Very, very difficult. Your timing has to be perfect. Off the backboard, Derek goes up and follows it down with the slam for a score of 28.
Derek Grimm, who finished second in this championship for Class AA last year. And now we go back to Springfield's Shelby Robertson. Whoa!
Little guy.
Now, what do you think of that?
Hey, the hands on the hips, the little attitude, you know, hey.
What do you think of that?
Hey, all right.